All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on Unhinged. I'm joined by Shanelle Dyer. How's it going?
I'm great.
Yeah, absolute pleasure to have you on. I was just listening there before we went on there. Obviously, absolute pleasure to have you on. Obviously, the list of accomplishments, your amateur background, your pedigree. It's just absolute pleasure. And I was really excited when obviously your name came forward.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a long time running. I've been in sport for about 10 years. I'm only 21, but I already feel like a veteran in this game.
Yeah, obviously you've been around in Muay Thai for ages, ranked number one in Muay Thai, and obviously
Yeah.
getting into MMA as well. So, talk to me first and foremost. I want to learn about that Muay Thai background, how you got involved in it, and obviously how you got to number one and that whole big process.
Yeah. So basically, I started Muay Thai when I was about 8, 9 years old. Um, I'm from London, and London is notoriously known for its knife crime, innit? So the area I kind of grew up around, my state, it's really easy to get sidetracked. And I've known people I've grown up with, they're in jail, prison, or even dead. So I'm really lucky from a young age. My dad brought me and my two brothers. To the Muay Thai gym, to a boxing gym actually, to try to keep us focused, and stay and be around positive role models. World champions, so we don't get sidetracked. And the first day I went to the gym, I just fell in love with it. And they knew that I had a talent for it. I kept winning fights. When I was 9, 10, 11, 12, I won my first title when I was 10 years old. I won my first world title in Turkey when I was 12 years old. Like, they flew me out, 5-star hotel, my first time on a plane, everything paid for in Turkey, amazing holiday, and I won. Um, and since then, I just knew that martial arts was for me. Yeah, then I took a 2 year break, just to do like teenage stuff in it when I was 13,
Yeah,
14, hanging out with friends, the usual messing about in school, just living life a little bit. But I went back to Thai boxing when I was 15, moved to the Nosy Academy, and yeah, I carried on my Muay Thai journey with Christian Knowles, my Thai boxing coach, and he brought me from junior ranks, C class, B class, and A class, and just worked my way up the rankings. I became pro ranked number one in the UK by the time I was 19, 20, with about 27 amateur titles underneath my belt.
that's phenomenal. Honestly, I saw that picture of you put on your Instagram. It might have been this week of you sitting
Yeah.
around with all your belts, obviously amateur belts, your
Yeah.
Muay Thai accomplishments. That's phenomenal. And only, as you mentioned just before we went on there, 21 years of age. It's just you've still got a long way
Yeah.
to go.
If it felt like I've been in this game for ages, but still have a long ways to go, which is mad. So much time to improve.
Yeah, and in my recent memory, anyway, for you're one of the best amateurs turning pros in women's
Yeah.
in recent memory. I can't think of anyone that I'm more excited to see, anticipated
Yeah.
to see in the English MMA scene, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, I've been doing MMA for about 3, 4 years now. I tried to obviously I had a long history in Muay Thai, but MMA is a bit different. I had to get my grappling on par and all the aspects of MMA on par before me turning pro. So I've had 11 amateur fights, and I made sure I fought the best fighters that I can get my hands on, the best fighters in the UK. Even abroad, they flew me the best fighters all around Europe to make sure that I was seasoned and proper ready to turn pro, which I am now.
Yeah, and then why did you turn over to MMA instead of continuing with your Muay Thai career? What was the reasoning to turn to MMA and obviously go on that path?
Yeah, so I was about 18 years old when I turned to MMA. It's just like financially, like the only thing I want to do in life is fight, and the only thing I know most of my life is fighting, and that's what I know that I want to do in the future. And I was about 18 years old, and I was in college, and they were like, "Okay, what's the next steps? Do you want to go to uni? What do you want to do in the future?" And all I wanted to do was fight. And unfortunately, you can't really do that in Muay Thai at the time. There wasn't really a big hype around ONE FC back then as now. But back then there's no money, there's no way to make a living just off fighting Muay Thai. So I was just looking at different avenues, and my old coach used to like come down to the gym one day, and I did. I got beaten up. Not gonna lie, I got beaten up. It's literally I got like tapped about 100 times a day. For like the whole year, I just kept getting tapped. It's so frustrating. But like the one thing I really like about myself is that it doesn't put me down. Like if I lose a battle, I want to avenge the loss. I want to get better. I want to find out how to get better, and that's just turn up in the gym, and that's what I did for about 3-4 years, and now my grappling is way above the I'm at this stage now.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, as you talked about, you had 11 fights in the amateur scene in MMA. And I'm such an advocate of having such a great, a
Yeah,
long amateur background in MMA or any sport. Because I
yeah,
think amateur is like it's like a testing like process.
yeah,
You can test up and you get ready. Then when you get to the professional ranks, that's where it really matters. And I feel like you've had such a good, obviously, amateur background, Muay Thai background. But did you feel like the time was right moving over to the professional scene? And obviously, did you feel like you maybe accomplished everything that you did in the amateur in your amateur career?
yeah. So as I said before, I fought like the best fighters that I can get my hands on in Europe. Like I never turned down a fight. I've fought people that I maybe shouldn't have fought. People upper weight class at 125. I fought world champions on like my third MMA fight. I've lost fights against people that I should have took fights, but um I'm grateful that I took those fights because the lessons I've learned is second to none. Like every fight I've fought, I learned so much from, which I'm going to take across to my pro career. Like I tried and errored so much different stuff. Like I literally found my style just by fighting those 11 amateur fights. But yeah, I think I achieved a lot in my amateur career in MMA. But one thing I really wanted to do was the IMAFs. But unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to do that because I fight pro Muay Thai, and if you fight pro, apparently if you fight pro in another martial arts, you're not allowed to do the IMAFs. So they basically they basically rejected my application. The IMAF people got kicked off, so I wasn't allowed to do it. So I just took that as a sign, as oh well, I'm too good anyways. Might as well just turn pro.
Yeah, I never knew that. That's interesting. I never knew if you were professional in a different combat, you could actually
Yeah,
compete in IMAF. So that's
yeah.
interesting. It kind of makes sense a little bit because then it feels like you maybe are a little bit ahead of them.
Yeah, yeah. But like
But
even
yeah,
yeah, but even like the IMAS in October was in Italy. And I couldn't even hide it because I fought like one of their best Italian fighters for pro world title like literally a year and a half before. So they were like, yeah, but you fought our world champion in pro for world title. You can you can't do the IMAS. So
yeah. So as we're talking about moving over to pro, and obviously how excited. Obviously, it's a whole different journey. Pro game is
yeah.
totally different to amateur. So how are you looking forward to obviously turning pro and obviously beginning that new journey? Should we say in that career?
I don't think of it as a different journey, to be honest. If you think of it as a new journey or fighting tougher competitors, then I don't think you should be turning pro. Like I think I'm on that level now. Just looking at my amateur career, I'm just thinking it's just a continuation of my amateur journey, and that's how I'm looking at it as. It's literally just longer rounds for me. And for me, fighting pro Muay Thai, I'm used to getting elbowed. I'm used to elbowing people. I'm used to knees in the head. Like you can even see in some of my previous fights, I get into amazing positions, especially up on the cage, to knee people in the head or even to throw elbows. But I'm just restricted in that sense. But now I'm literally just free to throw whatever I want, within the rule set, of course. But yeah, I'm just happy. I'm 100% looking forward to it. I tried to make my pro debut last year, December, but I was so hard to match. One of the reasons why I went up to 125 to find a match because finding me a match at 115 was so hard. Last year, even the beginning of this year, people was pulling out, saying no. Finding the matches in Europe was so hard. So I'm lucky that this girl said yes to fight me.
Yeah, and obviously let's talk about obviously a fantastic opportunity for yourself to make your professional debut over in France. Your opponent 0-2, Weronika. I'm going to call it Weronika. We're going to call her.
Yeah,
I think a second name. I'm so bad at pronouncing the name, but we're going to go
yeah,
Eszer.
yeah.
Weronika Eszer. That's what I'm going to go with. But yeah, she's 0-2. She also had a big lengthy amateur career like yourself. Tell us what you know about the matchup and obviously what your thoughts on the opponent itself.
So I watched her last previous fights, two fights. She's actually 0-2 in
Yeah,
a professional career.
yeah.
I watched her last two fights. Apparently she's a grappler, but she lost last two fights on the floor by ground and pound in the first or even the second round. Her striking is nowhere near my level. I think I have world class striking right now at such a high level. Um, that I don't think she'll be able to touch me in that sense. Even if she takes me down, working my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu's grown, my confidence in those areas have grown so much over the past few years that even if she does take me down, I'm confident I'll be able to make my way up or even be able to submit her.
Yeah, that was pretty much my next question. It was obviously coming from that big background of Muay Thai, moving over, and you've got to play a little bit of a catch-up game to get obviously
Yeah,
work on your grappling, work on the wrestling. And I've noticed you're a blue belt, and I looked at all your achievements, your tournament wins as well. So that's incredible. So it seems like you're getting the hand of it very, very quickly.
yeah. I think for me, I turned to MMA at the perfect time because I know a lot of people they start off MMA just training MMA, and there's so many different components for you to learn in MMA. You're striking, grappling, boxing, judo. Like so many different compartments in MMA. But for me, I basically kind of got my striking to such a high level that I can kind of neglect it in a way and focus all my time and energy into my grappling aspect. Like even in 2020 lockdown, I've literally done 99% just grappling. Like I'm allowed to get away with that because my striking is always going to be levels above, especially in amateur competition. So I basically spent my whole amateur career just focusing on my grappling to try to get it on par or to a certain level as my striking.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I see that you train out of GBTT, and obviously Brad
Yeah.
Pickett, fantastic wrestler. So one of
Yeah.
the best to learn.
Yeah, 100%. Brad, he's added to my game so much, especially in the wrestling aspects. Unfortunately, I didn't really have that in my old gym. And for me, being an amazing striker, my jiu-jitsu was not that bad. I think the one component that was missing for me is my wrestling. And Brad, he knows that I'm a great striker. So what we learn basically in RPTs is just pure wrestling. Mostly what I do in Great Britain top team is wrestling. So I've definitely 100% gone to the right gym.
Yeah, and obviously this. I presume you've had a long camp, a fantastic camp, and I know Brad Pickett won't let you slack and won't let you do
Yeah.
anything. He
Yeah.
wants 100% from his fighters all the time. So
Yeah.
talk to me. Obviously now you transition over to the the professional ranks. Do you see your first opponent in Weronika being a fantastic first fight for yourself? Obviously to you know dip your toes into the professional ranks.
Yeah, 100%. As I said before, I'm glad that she said yes to this fight. I've been in a long camp. My last fight, MMA fight, was beginning of July, and since then I moved to a different gym, GB Top Team, and I've learnt so much from the high level coaches, Ashley Grimshaw, Brad Pickett, and my boxer coach Barry. I've learnt so much from them, so I'm happy that I get to finally showcase what I've been learning for the past few months on Saturday.
Yeah, and obviously the simple, the easy one, but everyone wants to know about how does Chanel get her hand raised on obviously this weekend.
I don't. It's not gonna. It's the judges would not be needed in my fight. I'll say that right now. Um, Maximum 2 rounds, but I should get it finished in the first round. Second, I get my time in, the fight's over. Whichever way I want it to be.
That I can
I'm
feel the
predict.
confidence brewing. It's fantastic.
I'm predicting a flying knee, but
Flying knee.
flying knee.
That would be if that comes off. By the way, that would be
You
sensational.
have to pin this. You have to pin this. I'm saying it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And obviously we talked about it briefly. Obviously flying over to France. A location ticked
Yeah.
off your bucket list. As you talked about, you've been to obviously Turkey. What is it like? Obviously flying, fighting over the world, ticking off these locations.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I loved about the sport, and the one thing that actually kept me in the sport. Just traveling. Like for me personally, I love traveling, and from the young age, 9, 10, 11, 12, when I started martial arts, we used to like drive all up and down the country. Me and my friends and coaches making like amazing memories, meeting so many different people, and fighting the sport that I love. And I get to do it as an adult. Like I'm flying over to France for free. I get to fight something that I really love and I get paid for it. I'm basically just living the dream.
Have you got anything planned whilst you're over there? Any activities, or is it just strictly, a bit of business?
No, it's not really. It's just business, but I've as I said, I always said that I've been in this game ages, so a fight's a fight. I don't really stress about it. It's literally just second nature to me. I'm just gonna go in there and just do my thing, fight my fight. Literally, I'm not stressing about it. So we're there for about 4 nights. Me and my coach, my other teammate, he's fighting as well. So we're just gonna make a
Well,
whole week out of it and just have a laugh, have fun. Because it's fun at the end of the day. Like, I choose to do this because I love it and it's fun. So I'm gonna love it and I'm gonna have the most fun.
yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Obviously, a fantastic event in Hexagon. Some few good names as your teammate. You know, so if I'm correct, is it Walter? I don't know how to say his second name.
Yeah, Walter. I don't want to mess it up. I respect him
You,
too
I
much.
don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess it up.
I respect him too much for that.
But yeah, Walter, obviously a veteran, been around in the
Yeah,
game for a very long time. So obviously, it's fantastic. Obviously, GBTT got some phenomenal fighters.
yeah.
It's
Like
incredible. But,
I'm honored to be like on the card, my first pro fight, and he's literally a veteran in the game, and he's fighting for the belt on the
mhm.
card. Like, I'm honored to be on the same card as him.
Yeah, I remember watching him at Bama, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Bama was all the way back in when.
yeah.
So incredible. So we talked about it a lot, but last question about obviously the big elephant in the room, transition over to pro. What is the plans, obviously, as we look wider ahead
Mm.
in your professional career, in your professional, what is the plans looking forward?
Okay, so especially this fight, I'm fighting obviously in Hexagon on the weekend. But for me, I talked to my managers and my coaches that we don't really want to sign anything too mad at this early stage. We just kind of want to float around, get as much wins as possible, fight the right fights, the perfect fights for me, and get the wins. So hopefully next year that we move on to better things, whether that's UFC or PFL. We're yet to decide.
Yeah, absolutely. I think PFL would be fantastic. Obviously, they've just opened a 125 division. They don't have a
Yeah.
115 division, so
They're all for me.
125
They're all
division
for
could
me.
be.
They're all for me.
Yeah, but they're a very fast growing company.
Yeah,
Obviously,
100%.
that's a fantastic avenue if you do go down that yourself. And obviously,
Yeah,
you've
a
got
lot.
Cage Warriors. I like Cage Warriors as well. I think that's a good
Yeah,
baby promotion to bring yourself up.
yeah. Cage Rose is amazing. They kind of wanted to sign me
And you've
as
been there
well,
before, yeah.
but
Yeah,
just as I said before, I don't really want to sign anything too mad at this early
right.
stage, unless I want to um one of the big top promotions.
You don't want to go exclusive, shall we say, with any promotion. You
No,
just want to
I like my freedom.
as you
I like
exactly
my
you want to just
freedom.
yeah exactly. So
They
yeah.
all have to fight for
Um,
me.
yeah, yeah. My last question. I know you like anime. If you had
Yeah.
to fight one anime character, who you picking?
Ooh. Who am I hating right now? Fight. Do I get
Yeah,
superpowers as well?
yeah.
Eren Jaeger.
That's a good choice. That wasn't too bad.
He's annoying me right now.
But yeah, thank you so much. No, an absolute pleasure. I wish you the best of luck this week, and obviously,
Thank
I hope
you.
you have a good, fantastic day. Enjoy your time in
Yo,
France. It's gonna be make sure try a croissant maybe.
I will. After weighing, I'm eating all the croissants.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, an absolute pleasure. I wish you the best of
Thanks.
luck, and obviously, I
Thank
hope you
you.
bring it home.